And it can grow from there or it can die from there. Exactly the same as a VC opportunity. So it's like speed running VC, but access for everybody. Well, that's an incredible thing. So if we've got a technological revolution going on at every level, whether it's blockchain or all of technology itself, and you get a chance to get access to these things really early stage, and you can build a VC portfolio of 20 of these bets or whatever it is, some of them work, some of them fail. Okay, that's a whole new opportunity set that wasn't around ever before, because most people don't pass the accredited investor rules, which apparently tells you unless you've got $1 million, you're stupid.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Hey guys, welcome to Everyday Finance. Raoul Pal delves deeply into the current stage of the global market cycle in cryptocurrency, analyzing how timing, liquidity patterns, and macro developments are influencing the next big move. After a robust recovery, Bitcoin is once again taking center stage, trading at about $115,000 and aiming for what would be its highest monthly closing ever. As international markets respond to fresh expectations of a US-China trade agreement and a rate decrease by the Federal Reserve, optimism is growing. Some traders are wary and warn that a break below $109,000 could lead to a pullback, while others see this as the beginning of a new bullish wave. Analysts think cheaper capital could support another leg up in Bitcoin's surge as inflation slows, and the Fed is predicted to lower interest rates by 0.25%. Before the end of October, even AI-based forecasts foresee a surge toward $125,000. The hope is reinforced by on-chain data, which demonstrates that short-term investors are once again profitable, a traditional indication of rising confidence. A record-breaking month would be reached if Bitcoin closes above $125,750, which would be a fitting conclusion to what traders are referring to as Uptober.
The idea that I've had in my mind is my job is to live in the future. That's what macro guys do. And I got to a point because of AI and robotics that I can't see beyond about 2030, 2032. And that's unusual for me because I use mega trends as the backdrop to what I look at, things like demographics. So when you look at demographics, the population is aging pretty much in every major developed country in the world. So that means that economic growth slows as people get older. So GDP growth is driven by population growth, productivity growth, and debt growth. So as population ages, you get these big mega trends that start affecting growth rates of things, and we offset it versus debt. So we've got these mega trends. We've been debasing currency, printing money to kind of offset this massive debt because of the aging population that's slowing growth, and the governments try and keep growth up by creating debt. But soon we're going to replace that equation because the population side is going to be replaced by AI and robots. So we can have infinite number of productive units population in the next 10 years. So what does that do to economic growth? Who does it accrue to? But we get even weirder outcomes than that is, obviously people like, what job am I going to do? What's the point of a trader when you've got an AGI that can do it better? What edge do you ever have? How do companies get priced in markets once you've got this super intelligence? Because don't forget, for the first time in all of history, we will not be the super being on the planet. Somebody will be much smarter than us. It'll be the AI. So it's going to be better at us at all of these mental tasks that we do, and faster than us. So it becomes a strange world where I don't think trading works. I don't know what investing is like. We don't know what jobs we're going to do. But we're going to have massive economic growth. And I do know that we're very adaptive as a species. We'll figure stuff. And we'll figure stuff in ways of making money, ways of being human, and stuff like that. But we don't know what that is. If I know that we're about to go through the largest change humanity has ever gone through in the shortest period of time, i.e. not being the apex of all intelligence, I mean, it's a mind-blowing concept. And you can create infinite amounts of these super brains or super bodies. It's like the only way to really prepare for that is to not care. And the only way to not care really is to have made enough money that your security, you allow yourself to be secure And then you can enter that world because you can take risks, you can learn, do different things. But if you're expecting to be doing what you're doing today in 10 years' time, you're so wrong. And so really, I've looked at this and said, okay, we've got these massive megatrends, crypto, technology. They go up over time. They're the fastest, crypto particularly is the fastest growing asset in terms of performance in all human history in the shortest period of time. So don't fuck this up. Take that opportunity and use it, because if not, you're going to regret it. So I always talk a bit about your future self, and will your future self thank you for what you do today? You're trying to set your future self up to be protected from the new world that comes. I think if you think of where do humans have an edge? When it comes to prediction of markets overall, we don't. And we've kind of proven it by a lot of systematic hedge funds, people like Renaissance Capital, stuff like that. They figured out that computers actually do it better than humans. Computers are not very good at long-term time horizons yet. Their probabilistic outcomes of longer-term, like macro time horizons, are not good, but they're catching up fast. And I see it when I interact with mine. There are other things that are coming that are interesting, prediction markets. It's basically another trading market. Mm-hmm. We've also got endless new markets because of crypto. 1 million tokens. You can trade a lot of things. Yes, they're highly correlated. So how fast will that capital start to come fully into this? It's going to take time. So everyone's got time. There's no need to panic. But then you think about it. If you're betting on a human-to-human experience, let's call it a football game and you're at the game, or a boxing match, or whatever it may be, there'll be ways of doing it, but you're not trading markets, you're trading different things. The other thing that we're seeing the rise of is the rise of the attention economy. This is what we're doing here, right? Yeah. It's attention. Attention is upstream of everything in humans. And so the attention economy, we've seen it with meme coins and other things, I think it's only just starting. So what could that be? What could it be that maybe we can do that the machines can't? Or maybe it's too small a market that the machines aren't focused on it yet. I don't know. All I know is we've got a period of time from here to then, whatever then is. Let's call it 2032. Let's give that as the date, 2030, that we can figure some of this stuff out. Because you'll see the changes happening faster and faster and faster. You know, what you put into your ChatGPT today with your chart, in a year's time, it'll be developing a whole trading system and using an agent to do it for you. I mean, that's here now already. It's just not many people know how to do it, but soon you'll just be able to talk to your ChatGPT. And that's the other thing. If you're nervous of using the technology, talk to it. It's amazing. You go in voice mode and you just talk to it like a human and ask it questions. You can then feed your trading track record in and say, well, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? How should I think about it? How should I adapt? It'll do all of this too. You know, hey, I read this chart this way, talk me through how I could have done it differently. It's, you know, there's all of these things you can do to prepare. Post that, I honestly don't know. I call it the economic singularity because it's like this black curtain of which you cannot see the other side, and anybody who pretends they can is lying. We just don't know. We just don't know whether financial markets exist because they've become too perfect. How does it work also if you're trading equities? Think about trading some tech stuff and you've got some sort of SaaS business model. Well, right now almost you can put it into Replit and it can build a website with all of the functionality. 3 minutes? 5 minutes? So then what moat does any business have? How do you invest? So then they all become attention. How much attention can they get for how long? And is there any moat at all? And probably most of them don't have a moat. So in which case, then you're really short-term time horizons. And if you can see it through the world of meme coins, that everything just has attention and attention can die as well, then maybe you can survive what comes where businesses grow like that and disappear like that. And it kind of doesn't matter. It becomes the new normal. So there's a big signal in trading of crypto because you're trading bleeding edge of technology and use cases that people don't even see what they are yet. So if you think about memes as well, not only are you trading attention, you're also trading instant capital formation. So it's your chance to be a venture capitalist in real time. So somebody can put this idea out on the internet, launch a token, it can accrue $2 billion, $10 billion of value in 2 hours. And it can grow from there or it can die from there. Exactly the same as a VC opportunity. So it's like speed running VC, but access for everybody. Well, that's an incredible thing. So if we've got a technological revolution going on at every level, whether it's blockchain or all of technology itself, and you get a chance to get access to these things really early stage, and you can build a VC portfolio of 20 of these bets or whatever it is, some of them work, some of them fail. Okay, that's a whole new opportunity set that wasn't around ever before, because most people don't pass the accredited investor rules, which apparently tells you unless you've got $1 million, you're stupid.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
However, things are not all happening at the same rate. Once the most vocal corporate Bitcoin buyer strategy has significantly reduced the rate at which Bitcoin is being acquired. The company's weekly purchases, which occasionally exceeded 10,000 Bitcoin, made news in 2024, but now it only adds about 200 Bitcoin every week. Nevertheless, with about 3.2% of all Bitcoin in circulation, it continues to be the biggest corporate holder. According to cryptocurrency expert Martin, Strategy's expenditures have drastically decreased, going from billion-dollar allocations to just $22.1 million for 196 BTC last week. With $19.53 billion deployed so far, 2025 is still Strategy's second-largest investment year despite the decrease. But more stringent capital requirements are beginning to pinch. Since equity premiums have drastically decreased from 208% to barely 4%, fundraising has become much more challenging. Even though Bitcoin is just 16% below its all-time high, Mistara's stock has dropped by about 50% from its peak, demonstrating how strongly the company's success is correlated with BTC's performance.
At the simplest level, because everybody watching this is a trader, take your favorite chart, stick it into ChatGPT and say, what do you think? It'll blow your mind. Any chart, on anything, any time horizon. Then ask it, hey, what's driving this? And you'll realize that it knows more than you. It knows technical analysis. I use like DMARC indicators, chuck it in, it'll tell me, what you think the best setup is. And then you'll start to realize, okay, there's a superpower for you there. What you'll do is you'll find some hook. So it could be that, or it could be you've got a health problem, or you're going on a trip. Just go and ask ChatGPT. And then over time, you'll use it for more and more things. And before you know it, you're building models on it, you're developing systems, you're researching on it. I mean, half of my research now, I accumulate on ChatGPT and it works with me. I feed it a lot of my research from Global Macro Investor, so it knows how I write, how I think, and then I ask it to interpret stuff and it puts it into my framework. So it is a superpower, and anybody not using it is like fighting with one hand behind their back. It's an amazing tool. It's game changing. It is one of the greatest changes of all time. What they've done is they've gone the furthest out on the risk curve.
Yeah.
The further you're out on the risk curve, the less likely it just accumulates over time, like Bitcoin does, which is the closest end of the risk curve, the least risky of crypto assets. So when you go that far out, they tend to be boom busts, and 1 out of 1,000, 100,000, 1 million actually scales to something much bigger. Dogecoin did it, for example, many, many years ago. So all you need to do is say, listen, what you're doing there is you're taking away that probability of the long-term trend bailing you out. Right? If the number go up over time, this number does not go up over time. Mm-hmm. So therefore, say, okay, I understand what I did. I got too greedy with my mental model of I can make 100x. And just come in a bit and say, can I make a 5x? Can I make a 10x? Now, in normal markets outside of crypto, that's monstrous returns. Mm-hmm. In crypto, that requires you to hold Bitcoin for 2 years or 3 years, or to find something in the top 20 that's moving, and it might take you a year. Like one of the tokens I was in last year, and sort of still, it's my main holding, is Sui. It's a big project that came out of Facebook. It's not a fly-by-night thing. I mean, that did 5 or 6x last year. Solana did it the year before that. So, okay, that's a lot easier. So then let's say you don't enjoy the time horizon that I do, which is actually doing nothing. Most people want to do something. Okay, so let's say you've got a reasonably fast-moving asset that's proven and is towards the Bitcoin end of the risk curve.
Strategies unrealized. Gains are still substantial, at about $23.7 billion, despite slower accumulation. And this is only the beginning for Michael Saylor, a co-founder. He keeps portraying Bitcoin as the cornerstone of a new era in corporate finance. A digital reserve asset designed to outlive governments, business cycles, and currencies. A $1 trillion Bitcoin treasury that revolutionizes how organizations manage risk and keep value is Saylor's audacious goal. Raoul Pal agrees with such enduring belief. The rate decreases, changes in liquidity, an institutional build-out that we are currently witnessing, in his opinion, are setting the stage for the cryptocurrency market's next explosive phase. The structural adoption taking place underneath the surface is the true story, even while volatility dominates the headlines. According to Pal, the next big wave will change the entire financial system as a whole, not just individual portfolios.